Keith, I heard you mention it earlier. Um, help everybody understand absentee voting and who can utilize this option, and anybody else uh, who has it. I know Keith had mentioned it. That's why I'm
Yeah.
throwing
So
it to him.
here in the state of Michigan, anyone who's eligible to vote can use absentee. And essentially, it allows you to get your ballot, I think it's like 45 days before the actual election here in Michigan. And you can cast your ballot and mail it in, and you'll be counted. And so, you know, traditionally, you don't know what the weather is. So that's what everybody is afraid of for election day, because you don't know what's going to happen on election day. So that's
Yeah.
why it's a great thing here in Michigan that you can vote early, because that way you don't have to worry about it. You can sit at home in the comfort of your home. You can call the Secretary of State's office or the local clerk office here in the state, get your absentee ballot sent to you. You complete it. It comes in a self-addressed envelope. You sign it and send it back. And we also have here in Detroit now, our clerk, Janice Winfrey, we have this thing called ballot track. So once you submit it back in, it tracks the process along the way, so that you can know exactly when your ballot was received by the clerk's office, when it was counted. All the information is sent to you via text or via email. So it's a great system. Anybody who think they may be inconvenienced or not able to vote on actual election day, they definitely should do it. In Michigan, I think it's too late now for the primary to request one. However, we have early voting at community colleges throughout the city, so you can go there and vote in person absentee, but to actually get it mailed to you, it's too late for the primary.
Okay.
Reverend Jennings, we've
Yes,
had
sir.
in Virginia, we've had all our primaries, so the nominations and people on the ballot are already locked in, so we don't have that challenge. But the General Assembly passed no excuse absentee voting. It used to be that you could vote absentee, but you had to verify that you were unable to make it on election day because you were going to be out of town or you had to work or something like that. You had to have an excuse. Now you got no excuse absentee ballot. You want to vote absentee, you just say you want to vote absentee. You can vote absentee by sending in an application, getting a mail ballot and mailing it in, or you can show up at the registrar's office early and fill out the application. They'll give you the ballot and you can cast your ballot right then and there and be finished with it early. So you don't have to stand in line or anything like that. So that's what happens when they're trying to make it easier to vote rather than make it hard. And those that need their rights restored, as the registrar said, they're making that easy. All you got to do is apply, call the Secretary of the Commonwealth, or any elected official can steer you in the right direction. The governor is doing those since McCullough. Well, actually, since for about 20 years, each governor has been doing more and more. Terry McCullough just went off the chart and just did everyone he possibly can. In fact, he did, by one executive order, restored everybody's rights. He got sued. The Supreme Court said, no, you got to do them one at a time. He bought a box full of pens and took him a couple of weeks, but he signed every one he possibly could. And Governor Northam is following that lead. And so if you have completed your sentence, apply for restoration of rights. Do it soon so you don't get caught up in the paperwork. But you will be able to vote if you have completed your sentence. They also eliminated, there used to be, you had to also have paid all your fines and costs. They eliminated that because that's really a poll tax. But just apply. There may be some technicality where they can't get to you, or you might not qualify, but just about everybody is qualifying. So apply, get the information, get qualified to vote, register, and on election day in November, vote. Makes a difference.
Okay. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you, Keith. Awesome stuff. Anybody else? Anything on absentee?
Can we go back to the voter turnout?
Okay.
Just for a second. I just want to show you in Franklin, for example.
Sure.
So I picked president for federal, governor race for state, and then our local election. Excuse me. As you can see, in November 2008, we had the highest voter turnout, 74%. And this past local election, we only had 17% voter turnout. And in fact, one of the races was only decided by 9 votes. So yeah, it is so important that everybody go out and vote. Excuse me, you can see here for the federal race how high the turnout is versus the state versus our local. So I wish everybody would vote that's eligible every time, because I have the same amount of work to do regardless of who shows up. So I like it when we have high turnout, but I just wanted to pop to that. And I do have some information about what Congressman Scott was speaking about the no excuse early voting, if I can go to that.
Okay, very good.
Okay, I'll try to be quick. It's so much information.
I know.
Okay, so like you said, 45 days ahead, you show up at the registrar's office. Some larger localities are going to have satellite locations. So besides the registrar's office, you can go across the county or city where you are. We're so small here in Franklin, we're not going to do that. The last Saturday before Election Day, we're open the last 2 Saturdays prior to. That is the last day to vote early. And you, like Congressman Scott said, you don't have to have a reason or fill out an application. You just provide your name and address and show an acceptable form of ID, which the state has done away with the requirement for a photo ID, or you can sign an ID confirmation statement. If you choose to vote by mail, you apply either online or get us the application, and then we'll mail them out starting 45 days prior to the election, which for this is September the 18th, which is right around the corner. Just make sure that you review the instructions and complete your ballot and get it to us by 7 p.m. on Election Day. If you're going to mail it in, it has to be postmarked on or before Election Day and received by noon on the 3rd day after the election, which in this case is that Friday. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you.
Okay, so the ballot does not have to be there on election night? Just
Right.
postmarked before election?
Right, that's right. That is brand new. So that just went into effect July the 1st. So now they give, as long as it's postmarked, I think they said in the last November election, there were 3,000 ballots that were received after Election Day. So to make sure that those people's votes count as well, they have extended the time as long as there's a postmark by Election Day.
Okay.